Hello there, Internet, MegaMogwai here, and I got another Legends of Runeterra video for you guys today. And today, ladies and gentlemen, Casino is back, baby. Kinda. We got a casino-ish sort of deck, which I have to give a huge shout-outs to Fresh Lobster for. Fresh Lobster is a fellow Legends of Runeterra streamer, and I faced him on the ladder a few days ago on Twitch, and he was running a very interesting deck. At first, I thought it was Casino because it has JINX and Twisted Fate as the lineup, but it's actually a deck built around Taskmaster. Now, keep in mind, this is not an exact copy of his list because I don't know what his deck is, but from what I saw from his list, I kind of like got an idea of the concept, and I built my own take on it, but the original concept is indeed his. You know, I feel like sometimes deck builders don't get credit enough in card games. You know, it used to be easier to do before we hit the digital era, but now, you know, since everybody has access to the game online, it's hard to attribute a specific deck or archetype to one person, because sometimes, you know, certain ideas are come up by multiple people at the same time and they post it in the internet at the same time. So, but, you know, from what I gathered, Fresh Lobster, the guy who came up with this idea, and, you know, big shout outs to him. So, like I said, this is pretty much a smork deck, really. It's a pretty aggro-based build with Taskmaster as a very potent enabler, as we have a lot of one-drops, as you guys can see here. Not only the Butcher, which is pretty standard for Bilgewater decks, but also a full set of Pole Shark, Zana Urchin, Jury Rig as well, which counts as a one-drop, and the booties themselves, the Poro Cannons, the Daring Poros specifically, also happen to be one-drops. So Taskmaster will buff every single one of these units attacked by one, and these buffs go a long way in a tempo-based strategy as this one. So with Taskmaster and all these one-drops, we have JINX and Twisted Fate as our champions of choice. Why? Because this deck does share quite a few traits with the original Casino deck, which was built with around Slotbot and a bunch of card draw, but also ways to empty your hand efficiently to both level up JINX and Twisted Fate, which otherwise seemed like the opposite of champions, right? Like one wants you to empty your hand and the other one wants you to draw a shitload of cards to draw, right? So, or to level up. So naturally, like theoretically, these two should not be able to mix properly, but because of cards like Pick a Card, for example, and Rummage, we're able to dispose of our hand before we get the card draw rolling, and therefore, if we sequence properly, we can actually set up a level up for both of these champions, potentially even simultaneously, which is kind of crazy, right? Obviously, because of these very specific sequencing, like it's a skill, it's a high skill sort of deck to pilot. Is what I'm trying to say, because you need to know how to sequence these cards, you need to know how to work for the level up and think ahead. So I wouldn't recommend this deck for newer players. This is a sort of archetype that I would recommend for, you know, intermediate or advanced, even though it is very, very like aggressive and it can be looked at straightforward in a way, but it's actually pretty complex in regards to decision making, because these two champions can be a little bit clunky together if you don't do things right. Regardless, I just love mixing these two. Like I said, I love JINX's leveled up form, generating the Super Mega Death Rockets and just slowly tearing down the opponent's Nexus and board. It's just so damn satisfying. And Twisted Fate is my favorite champion in the game, right? I love leveling him up and just going crazy with the skilled cards or the color cards, or red, yellow, and red cards. I don't know how to label them. The cards, basically. We get amazing, insane value every single turn out of them, and we can also use them to just clear up the opposing board and get some nasty damage going on through. I have Pick a Card as a full set here because this deck is very low curve, so having a pretty greedy source of card draw here and Pick a Card that can also be used to level up JINX feels pretty ideal, as we have a full set of Missing Shot and a couple of Make It Rains to help us enable the Plunder a little bit easier, as we do run a full set of Warning Shot on top of that. So with that and the crazy ridiculous low curve that we have a very easy time enabling Plunder most of the time, and that really allows us to get off. So that is the deck list right there, ladies and gentlemen. Really nothing more to say. I'm going to let the gameplay speak for itself. Very, very fun and rewarding archetype to play. Honestly, like, I recorded a video with this and it felt like 10 minutes. So it was a really great time, and I think I got some really good matches too. So I also like doing live recordings because I get to narrate, and I think my overall video quality is better. So hopefully you guys enjoy that as well. And if you do, leave a like and subscribe. It's free. Free stuff is good. You know, some famous person said that once, and I will quote them, even though I don't know who they are, but somebody said it. So yeah, keep that in mind. Have a solid day. Enjoy the games. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Why to start off a video with that? I don't know why. We are facing a Trundle Aurelion Soul deck, but I assume they have a one-off of Sejuani, which doesn't really change things very much at all. We're still taking the same game plan approach. We see JINX in our opening hand, which I like. I'm going to mulligan away the Make It Rain and keep everything else, because Rummage onto a discard outlet is a good way to go for the JINX level up here. We see Butcher. Double Butcher. We're going to be aiming to get this one as a 3-3. Let's go face.
They're out there. He's
talking without me. Let's drop the second Butcher as a 3-3. We get the attack in right before the Avarosa Sentry comes in, which is really neat. As there we see the Warding Stones. We're gonna play Zonite Urchin. The set trap got me good. And I could play another JINX here. Especially because that makes it so that next turn I will be able to JINX into Rummage, and I really like that. Yeah. That's actually very tempting, but we need the mana to level up JINX next turn, so we're gonna have to live with this thing blocking into us. He could play a Trundle here. I'm going for the up attack. There's a lot of things my opponent can do here, but this guarantees some nice damage. Also leaves him vulnerable to a Make It Rain, removing his ramp, which may be ultimately worth it. But now that he does that, I do prefer... This Make It Rain is neat though, because then next turn he's going to go up to 7. I mean, 7 mana doesn't make as much of a difference. Do I Make It Rain to get rid of this, or do I level up JINX? I think I level up JINX. Plus, I get the rocket anyways, yeah. Let's go JINX. Drop these two.
We're doing it.
There's a Taskmaster, and we got another Rummage in there, which is really important because it's a very easy way for us to level up to get the rocket next turn. Even though our opponent has 7 mana here, it doesn't change that much, really.
Carved from the savage cold.
That's where the Sejuani really comes into play, though. Except we do have Twist of Fate.
I'm always up for a round or two.
And unless my opponent has a Hush,
All that glitters.
which he would have to use on his own Sejuani there, we are pretty fine here. Gotta crack in the rocket. Start getting some damage in, boy. Bye-bye. I love JINX. She's so... Ooh, okay. Alright. Bye-bye. I want to hold on to Twist of Fate in the back, I think. Even though I am just threatening more damage with it directly. So he can block here, he can block here, he can block here. That's still a total of 5 damage to the face. Is that really enough? At this point, am I really going to be working for a Twist of Fate level up? I don't think so. Yeah, I'm better off with an open attack here.
Prove your worth.
Yeah, he may want to interact with my JINX anyways. A flash freeze. There's not really anything I can do to prevent JINX from going down. I can drop the Jag Taskmaster though, however. Let's see what he does. We could see an avalanche here. Okay, a revitalizing roar. Alright.
Seas are fair and the wind's pulling. We sail!
Aye, boss.
I do want to play you here though. Go on then, because I do want to drop more cards. He's down to 8 mana though. He can play the Infinite Mind Splitter here. And if he does develop the Infinite Mind Splitter to stop 2 of my attackers, I will set up the Flame Chompers on top of one of the stunned units. These warning shots, my hand is unfortunately running very light. And unless I top deck something like a Rummage, I don't really have... I'm not going to be able to level up this Fate, but my opponent doesn't know that, right? My opponent doesn't know what I have here. So I really have to bank on an attack pulling through here for us. Ideally, he would drop the Mind Splitter. Yes. Yep. Let's go with that. Let's see what we top deck here. Pick a card. Not really ideal as of right now. Regardless, we have to go for an open attack here. I mean, this Twisted Fate is this is such an easy hit to block though. Just taking 5 damage. I gotta keep you in the back, I think, yeah.
Leave no survivors.
Shuffle.
I'm gonna keep the 2 warning shots in hand. Even though Jury Rig would be nice to have, but I'd rather keep the damage. He basically draws Aurelian Soul and maybe another one of these, or maybe 2 Aurelian Souls. Like we know why people play that card.
Looks like I'm on a
All right, let's go. We got it just a Fate level up, which is a very hard thing to do here. And at least we're looking into more card draw. We got some direct damage here. We got a Make It Rain that could actually knock out the Sejuani as well. And most importantly, we got leveled up Twist of Fate, which allows us to get some card advantage going on here. You know, if we don't hit, for some reason, if we miss on Sejuani with a Make It Rain, we can very easily pick her off with the red card generated by Twist of Fate here, so we're going in. Okay, unless we get hushed. Well, you know, hush is the thing.
Well fought.
Let's take it one spell at a time. We don't need to just do everything and let our opponent know what our options are. I think I can just take a hit from this. I'm not particularly worried about. I need to keep my board presence as strong as possible.
Shuffle.
I'm gonna go for that. He's got 9 cards in hand, but I believe he has not invoked anything. So his removal is definitely way more limited right now. He could have something like an Ice Quake, but I believe a lot of these decks don't run that anymore. Like they used to run it as a one-off, and now they don't. It's perfectly fine. I'm gonna shoot here. pass that over.
Anything else?
Blue as the serpentine.
A lot of pick a cards here. We're gonna keep the Twist of Fate variants though. And we're gonna keep our cheap plays here as well. We want to enable another Taskmaster so that our Poro Cannon leads to 2 3-1 attackers. So this is how we're gonna do things. We're gonna go with a warning shot. No, we're gonna go with a warning shot. I think we're gonna go with a pick a card here.
Let him think it's luck.
The moment my opponent commits to something like an Ice Quake or some big sort of like AoE based removal, then we just punish the hell out of them. We're spreading out so much, and we're like, we have so many threats in like little forms or shapes and forms, English, and he's so low on health that most of his area of effect shit is very expensive, right? Even though an Avalanche does work here. An Avalanche definitely does work and leaves him open with options. Like, he can potentially have Avalanche and Intimidate and Roar, for example.
It's a fine day for murder.
Plenty still to go round, boss.
Now he must be nervous. Because, for example, now what's the name? He needs two 5 mana. Jesus, the Celestial card, the 5 mana card that heals you 5. What's it called? Star Shaping. Jeez, I forgot. Star Shaping right now doesn't quite do it. He needs 2 copies of that, which means he taps out. And I'm gonna refuel next turn with. That's why I'm playing so many copies of, you know, pick a card, because I just have the ability to keep going. Ooh, okay. I'm keeping pressure. I'm making it so that he's very uncomfortable, that he's vulnerable. Yeah, okay, we're going in.
I'm off myself.
He needs a lot of shit to survive here. Okay, that's 1. And maybe Star Shaping. Flash Freeze, okay. Wow. Makes me regret dropping the warning shot here. We may as well do this, right? How am I? Okay, I'm at 12. I'm gonna draw a lot. I actually should not do that. I should not do that because I could mill myself here. Yeah, we got the warning shots, man. The moment he passes over initiative, he's dead. Unless he heals. Give me initiative and you're dead. Bye-bye.
It was in the cards.
Literally. Alright. That's a nice way to start these off. Alright, let's go round 2. Okay. Some Targan Lee Sin. This deck has been all over the ladder lately. It's proven to really yeah, it's quite a good indication of like them perhaps going a little bit overboard with Lee Sin. I think the buff was a bit significant, and we're seeing him as like Like I've seen some meta snapshots like posting this deck as like tier 2, and I don't know what they're smoking. Like this deck is like the prime candidate for like actually needs to be nerfed because it's fundamentally broken deck. So we gotta keep that in mind. We gotta work on leveling up Twist of Fate as early as possible. I'm gonna mulligan away these two. I'm gonna keep the Rummage and the Jury Rig, as generally speaking, Rummage is a very neat tool. We would like to see the Warning Shot again, but you know. Okay.
I'll burn for
I'm gonna play Butcher.
We each hold a world within.
The dead don't need riches.
We can focus on Make It Rain this turn to enable the Jack Taskmaster.
Traveler, and stop staring.
And this Make It Rain is very well timed as the Mentor of the Stones goes down. Okay.
Gold, floaty crystals. You poor thing.
I could just drop the Jury Rig, but I'd rather, am I better off blocking like this and doing this and this? I think I may very well. I want to weaken this.
The sea beasts will fear us.
Even though I did run out of gas a lot there.
Send them to the drink.
But perhaps multiple Jag Taskmasters here can prove to be threatening enough. Even though, like I said, we're running out of gas, we need stuff like JINX to get back into this game. He's already got the gems, which means Lee Sin is a huge threat at this point. He may try to use the gems onto the Eye of the Dragon to heal her. Like, I could have prevented that with Mystic Shot, but I'd rather, yeah.
Force is meaningless without skill.
A pleasure to see you, Master.
Getting rid of her is really important, though. Because at least I take away his healing. Unfortunately, we're very low here on stuff.
Mystical levitation requires concentration.
Yeah, this is looking bad. I could have tried to do things differently, but the reality is, because of the nature of my hand, I just ran out of gas really fast.
I'll see this through. I will not hold back. Enter your spin.
Think you a looker.
I have to stop this because every time it's gonna make him bigger and bigger, but he's getting more gems. So at this point, I don't think there's much I can do. Like, there's not much I can top deck here that will bring me back into the game. I mean, this is definitely something good to draw here, and I can try to push for a little bit of damage and try to see if I can sneak in a win that way, but I just don't see it happening. Just because all he needs is a Senate Blade, and that's pretty much a wrap. There's nothing on my deck because I don't have Hush or anything like that. You know, I'm not playing Targan, so I can't counter this, so it's over. It's over. I mean, that game highlights a couple of things. Like, first of all, this deck's, you know, potential weakness with a bad series of draws, because it really relies on the champions to not run out of gas. You know, we have a lot of card draw and such, but we need to curve out properly, and in that particular case, after our mulligan, we had too many of the same shit, and we didn't really curve out well either. We drew the Jack Butcher a turn late, which was really unfortunate. And we had like triple Taskmaster in our hand without proper... Maybe I could have kept the Warning Shot, you know, but considering the matchup, I felt like I really needed to fish for my champions if I wanted to have a chance, because that leads to point number 2. And that is that Lee Sin deck just... you know, I'm not one to be against like combo decks or anything like that, but I feel like that deck is Like, I feel like Lee Sin is enabled too easily in that deck, and it's very consistent, and there's very few ways to disrupt it or interact with it, right? Unless you're running a specific series of regions, like for example, I've been playing a lot of Freljord with Ash and Misfortune with Frostbites. Because of that, even then, it's a very binary sort of playstyle that's like super fast. The problem is that the combo goes off very consistently and very fast regarding that consistency. So I do legitimately feel like Lee Sin is overpowered right now, and that archetype is just overpowered as a whole. And I think people who are claiming it to be anything but tier S are just out of their minds or just don't have sufficient data, because I have you don't need like a huge sample size of games to know when a deck or an archetype feels, you know, kind of insane, right? Like, there is this feeling that you get to it, like the way that it plays out and how it happens so regularly. It doesn't take that much time to realize when something's off, and I think that archetype is a little bit off. I could be wrong, like I'm always open to being wrong, but from my experience, Lee Sin Target has felt like pretty ridiculous, and yeah, maybe I'm the only one, I don't know. So yeah, GG anyways, and let's move on to game 3. Oh boy. Let's go again. Oh boy. Alright, let's see what we can get out of this. Alright, I like Zonite Yurkin into Jury Rig. I'm going to take out Mystic Shot and Poro Cannon though, as I do want to find some of my champions. We got to go full Smork here. Like, if we want to stand a chance, we have to completely outpace our opponent, and Yurchin here with the Jury Rig is a great way to enable that, as drawing into Taskmaster is fantastic here, as we get an early aggression going on.
The strong don't want mercy.
There we go.
Gems are superb. Bad for the teeth.
This fucking guy. So annoying. There is an argument for just ignoring that though. Playing Poro Cannon and just going wide with Poros and Pool Shark. A couple of that, and then just go face with a full-on attack.
Where do you stand on cold shot? Something the matter? Crystal.
What is gained when we return malevolence? Your lesson begins. Ready yourself. The dragon binds us. With my spirit, not my fists.
Now that he taps out and he reveals that he's going for the all-in Eye of the Dragon play, we knock that out. We still got one to deal with there, you know, this healing is a little bit annoying, but we are going to be able to level up.
Daylight warms the heart and lights the way. Rules are made to be broken, like buildings.
Our girl JINX here, we're going to trade one of these for that, because we're going to get the board space anyways. Come on, our roll! And now we're going in. Let's see what he discards.
is just accidental art.
Okay, Solari Priestess. So there's two Celestial cards there. All right. I want to set up the rocket first.
Daylight star will rule the skies.
Do scuttlers think we walk sideways?
Booyah. We definitely want to attack with these two.
Smile! It's called gunplay.
Can block here, can block here. I don't want to deal with this life stealer here. I don't want to attack with the 3-1 just because it trades with these two really easily. I do want to attack with these two though.
Cut 'em up myself.
I mean, this can block here. I mean,
Anything helps.
I kind of should have attacked with everything, right? This blocks here, they block there. Yeah, this is fine. Let's go with everything.
We have no quarrel.
Ready yourself.
Insolence.
We preserve a good portion of our board. We still have JINX here, drawing us 2 cards. Hopefully we do... Oh, that rummage is beautiful. That rummage is actually legit beautiful. That rummage is just fire, man. I am worried about Lee Sin with some enabler.
Master yourself. Master your enemy.
No, it's here somewhere.
Let's go for the rummage though, because we want to draw into some units here. Okay.
I will not hold back.
For 1 mana. What is he discarding?
Oh yeah, that's a pretty sparkle flag.
Oh, the hush.
The sea beasts will bear us.
Okay. At least Lee Sin can trade. Oh, you gotta be shitting.
Conflict is all in the mind. Center your
Oh, never mind. All right. We're not even thinking about things here. Like, we are clearly... Well, I don't know, actually. Never mind. It's much better.
Deal me in.
We're going for the gold card. Yep. There we go. Okay.
Outplayed.
That's, I mean, you can... We smart. So, like I said, that deck is pretty crazy. But, you know, we do have an alternate... Like, we do have an ability to... Like, a strategy that can work against them, right? Just go and face. Just out-racing them, killing them before they get their strategy going. Because once they get the Lee Sin train going off, there's just no way we can deal with that, right? So... I mean, I stand by what I said with Lee Sin. Just because I beat the deck in a rematch doesn't really mean anything in that sense. Like, I still feel like that deck is just... Yeah, I mean, nothing that I said changes, basically. My opinion doesn't change over the course of one game, in case anybody's wondering. And, yeah, that's... Do we have time for another game? I think we do. I'm running a little bit bad on time today, because I started the recording not super late, but you know how these live sessions go. They take a while, right? Like, at least between like 30-something and 40-something minutes, so... Sometimes I don't count well. All right. Ramp, though. Ramp it is. So we know what to do here. Twist of Fate is a champion that I do like seeing in my opening hand here, I think. I'm going to drop these two. I'm going to keep the warning shot. as it is a great enabler for that. Now, these draws are not something that I'm particularly satisfied with, to say the least, because we have no early pressure. I do like keeping the warning shot in case I do find... Okay. I'm gonna drop the pick a card here. Because I already have double Twist of Fate, which means I don't need more of that. I almost passed there. Not an ideal opener. You know, we're not really applying much pressure at all. We are, what seems to be unable to... do much here.
Anything else?
I'm gonna attack. Alright.
King of trolls coming through.
Never lost a fair game. Or played one. Soak it in.
I would have, maybe I should have kept it. I should have dropped the Twist of Fate and I should have kept the pick a card, because that would have allowed me to capitalize on this a bit more. I'm gonna drop you. Because now with double rummage, we are looking at a very fast level up for Twist of Fate, which is absolutely essential if we want to have a chance at winning this. I'm gonna drop you and one warning shot. Okay. I don't have a way to draw just one. I think I'll drop the
Gotta trust your instincts.
I know. What do I want to drop here? I want to keep the Jag Taskmaster. I think I can drop the Butcher. And potentially even the... No, I don't see myself playing the pick a card here, even though it would be really neat to draw that. So I'm going to drop this and one of the one drops. And I think I value the Pull Shark more than I value the Jag Butcher, to be fair.
Now this game's heating
up.
Go on then.
Watch the ball, folks. Blue as the Serpentine. Something for all of you.
I want to keep the warning shot, I think, or do I? I don't think so, actually. I have ways to trigger this stuff. I'm gonna do this.
Dead in their tracks.
We knock out Trundle there. Gonna lead off with the Daring Poro. We're gonna do this so we can enable the plunder here.
Something for all of you.
I'm gonna clear the board a little bit there. Okay, so Withering Wail is happening here.
The strong don't want mercy.
Which means we still do this anyways. Yeah.
The sea beams will fear us.
I'm gonna go double jab Taskmaster here. As we go face with these. We lose Twisted Fate, but we can work for a JINX level up now. And our 1-drops are all like very high attack.
I smell a fight.
Okay. We have the ability to level up JINX here. Just gotta make sure we don't die to Atrocity here.
We playing bilge rules, son?
Follow my blade.
Alright, here we go.
Curses.
I mean, getting rid of you is just as important, right? It's an extra blocker. Matters more. Even though I do lose the buff from this. I lose the buff from this, but preventing him from ramping is just so valuable here. Getting rid of that is really, really neat.
I'll burn for what I've done.
I'll give you to the Countess.
Time's up! I am totally not insane, I promise.
Now it's a party.
Now it's a party indeed. Let's go face, ladies and gentlemen. Because face is the way. Let's get rid of this too, right? Like if I do this, this gets blocked. That means a total of 12 damage. Yeah, this is great.
That the best you got?
No, you gotta block the other way around, and I can surprise you with the Make It Rain. That's so good. Okay. Okay, so this means down to 7, which means that if we do this and get excited, we get lethal on him, right? Yep, no matter what. Lock and loaded, motherfucker! Yep, even if he has a Vile Feast, this represents exact lethal, even with that health gain. Because he'll get 1, and this will deal 4. Oh my god. And I misclicked on the emote, actually. That came off of the Andy. I wanted the... That was my favorite. Alright, that was a pretty chill live, 45 minutes, I'm happy with that length. We got 4 games in there, and pretty happy, man. I'm happy that I got some vengeance on Lee Sin Targan. God damn, that deck is everywhere. And really showcased the power of this deck, the power of Jag Taskmaster, and highlighted both Twisted Fate and JINX. I love playing these two champions together. Ever since Casino, I've loved this champion combination, and I really, really like this deck concept. So big shout outs to Fresh Lobster for the idea, and shout outs to the Booty and Poru Cannon, and to just super low curve, man. I wonder if Suit Up could be good in this deck, but I think pick a card is just like really valuable, because otherwise we run out of gas really fast. But I don't know, I love JINX playstyle, and this is of course my favorite champion in the game, so had a blast playing this one, and hope you do as well. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for daily Legends of Runeterra content. I do post a new deck every single day. I'm going to be streaming some Among Us after I'm done recording this and preparing this video, actually. So if you guys want to see that uploaded on the channel, let me know. I'm going to do it with some subs from Twitch, and I'm really fucking excited for it. So if you guys want to see that type of content, even though it's not Runeterra, then hit me up, and I'll see what I can do. And that's all I gotta say. Have a soul day. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow.